You know, whenever I record on my phone, it seems like I've got a 33-minute time limit for whatever reason. Even though I have more space on my phone, that's just really weird. Guess it's like something like if it overheats, but whatever. Anyway, let's finish this up. I was just talking about Zack Ryder being over, and how, you know, they should fucking do something with him. So I really don't understand this. If everybody in the crowd is pulling for Ryder, I know that it's not going to be good to have face versus face, but, you know, they should figure it out. If everybody is pulling for this guy, don't you think maybe they should fucking do something with him? You know, instead of just fucking having the crowd cheer for this guy like crazy. And, you know, like I said, people were making it out like I was exaggerating how over the guy was. And he really was, and he is still. People still like this guy. They genuinely enjoy him. And I do too. I agree. So, you know, anyway, Rusev won this Battle Royal, and they're going to obviously go for the 2015 storyline last year. Cena beat Rusev for the U.S. title, and we had the United States Open Challenge. And Cena was doing a lot, actually. We have to give him credit. Well, you know, some of us like me, the more logical members of the YWC, they will actually give credit where credit's due. He helped out the U.S. title a lot. But a lot of people are not willing to admit this because, you know, they hate Cena. And, you know, it's kind of like with Roman Reigns last night at Payback. When people hate somebody, you know, certain people, they won't even admit when they do anything good. And it's pretty fucking sad. But anyway, I don't want to see this storyline again. It's pretty obvious that Cena will return on Memorial Day. You know, what a day to win the U.S. title from Rusev on Memorial Day of all days. You know, a very American holiday. So, you know, I'm all for giving the U.S. title to Cena, but they're going to repeat this again. And we all know that Rusev is going to be a transitional champion. Now, they could really put Rusev over big time by having him go over Cena, but I don't want him to, because I don't really think the guy is that great. I don't really see a lot coming out of Rusev in the long term. Many people are behind him, and, you know, I really don't see, you know, why it's gonna. Maybe that's why wrestling is in such fucking you know, rough shape as it is. People are getting behind all the wrong people. You want to see Rusev pushed, even though the guy doesn't really have that much personality, and he's just in the ring. Really, there's really nothing that's that marvelous about the guy. There's nothing so spectacular. You know, the guy's got a great physique. You know, he's a power lifter and everything. But other than that, there's not really a lot for this guy. I saw people praising his mic skills. I saw PW Torch praising his mic skills last year. And they have to be out of their fucking minds. The guy doesn't have any mic skills. Anyway, I could go on and on about this. But anyway, AJ Styles... oh, no, actually, I'm about to skip over something that I did want to rant on. Charlotte comes out with Ric Flair, and they introduce Charles Robinson. So, last night, I can't even believe I have to go over this again. Last night, they had a match for the fucking women's title. Charlotte puts Natalya in the sharpshooter, right? And then Charles Robinson calls for the bell. They're mimicking the Montreal Screwjob, except it's not in Montreal, it's Chicago. And how convenient that Bret Hart is there. And it was a way of, you know, getting some cheap heat and getting, you know, Bret Hart to be riled up. And, you know, before you knew it, Bret Hart had Ric Flair in the sharpshooter. And then, you know, Natalya had Charlotte in the sharpshooter as well. So you had double sharpshooters, niece and uncle. What a beautiful moment. Now, that would have been a beautiful moment if I wasn't so fucking pissed off that the fucking segment was this fucking shitty, that they had to do it this way. So anyway, they call out Charles Robinson in what's just an awkward segment, like he doesn't want to say much. Charles asked him, did, your decision last night have to do anything with the relationship with my father? So here's the thing. You might be saying relationship with Ric Flair and Charles Robinson. What are you talking about? Well, I'll tell you what they're talking about. 1999 WCW. And you might be asking yourselves, where the fuck did they come up with this? No, really, it was a thing. In 1999, in WCW, Charles Robinson was called Little Nate. He literally dressed up, and they showed a video package of this earlier in the night to fill you in. The chances that anyone watched this, so, right, they target a young audience. So, this young audience, where the fuck were they when Little Nate existed? They weren't even born yet. They weren't even in their mother's womb yet. They were still fucking in their fucking father's ball sack. That's where they fucking were. They didn't exist yet. I mean, this is 17 years ago we're talking about. The WWE doesn't have any continuity with their own storylines. Like Sami Zayn cost Cesaro the match last night at Payback, with Sami Zayn and Owens brawling. Cost him the match against The Miz. Is Cesaro and Zayn fighting it out? No. But they will continue a storyline, at random, mind you, 17 years later. What the fuck is up with this company? I mean, is it just like they kind of want to see just how absurd they could get? I mean, do they even have, like, any standards or any rhyme or reason for what they do? Or are they just going to fucking basically fuck around for the rest of their existence? And what cracks me up about this is the ratings are at 2.2 last week for Raw. So, we've got record lows here. And how do they respond to this? By having probably one of the most ridiculous storylines I've ever seen. So Natalya comes out, she puts Flair in the sharpshooter, and something just didn't sit right with me. Now, Natalya, you're not China. And you're putting a man in the sharpshooter, and somehow Ric Flair, Ric Flair is like old now. I get that. He's the old man. He's defenseless, or whatever it's supposed to be. But I'm not buying Natalya putting Ric Flair in the sharpshooter. And this whole thing with Charles Robinson, why are they doing it? Like, okay, so I understand there's some continuity from WCW. It now does make sense. But then again, it really doesn't. Because it was so long ago. Where was Charles Robinson's relationship with Ric Flair? All the time that he was a part of WWE, they never acknowledged it once. All of a sudden, at random, it's like somebody was watching the WWE Network, watching a random episode of Nitro, or one of the WCW pay-per-views where Little Nate faced off against Gorgeous George, the Macho Man's former girlfriend. And all of a sudden, they're just like, hey, let's do this. Like, what? Like, it's so random. It's so stupid. It's so meaningless. It's like, where do they get off? It's almost like they think the ratings are through the roof. They can do whatever they want and people will praise them. People hate your fucking show and they're tuning out in droves, you fucking dumbasses. In the main event, it was AJ, Gallows, and Anderson defeating Reigns and the Usos. And, I mean, it was an okay main event at the end. There's some interesting intrigue there with Gallows and Anderson holding Reigns, allowing AJ to hit him with a chair. And this kind of reminded me in a way of, John Cena going to hit Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania with the chair and choosing not to, but you know, that's a different story. Anyway, I mean, it was good drama and everything, but I don't know where they're going with it. Maybe it's going to be like Finn Balor is going to come and lead Gallows and Anderson and maybe start a feud with AJ Styles. That might happen in Extreme Rules. I could definitely see that, you know, being something they might do. I don't know how over it's going to be. Of course, the YWC and, you know, is going to lose their minds over it and say it's the best thing since sliced bread, right? You know it. Anyway, so this show overall, wow, it sucked big time. New era? I don't think so. If anything, it's fucking worse or just as bad. I mean, like, seriously, it's probably just as bad. I mean, there was barely anything on this show worth our time. Yeah, Owens and Cesaro, great match, but you know, the main event, it was okay, you know, a little bit of intrigue, but where was the rest of the intrigue the rest of the night? I mean, I really didn't see anybody moving forward on this show in any way. Didn't see anything really new or out of the ordinary where I was, like, shocked. Or the only thing I was shocked was this Natalya storyline. It's just shocking how fucking dumb it is. You know, with Charles Robinson. Like, how random is it that they just pull a fucking WCW storyline out their ass? I might be harping on it. It might be annoying to hear me continuously talk and rant about it, but it just, you know what? It's the perfect example for how WWE is just so out of touch that they don't even realize, like, what they're doing half the time. Like, how it's just a dumb idea. Just like the fucking hundreds of dumb ideas they've had for the past fucking decade. I mean, when are they going to improve? I want to know. When? When are they really going to take a serious effort? Oh, we're trying to get it. No. Seriously, when are they going to buckle down and look at the product and finally be honest with themselves? They were acknowledging it, having Shane acknowledge how bad it was, right? That's why he needed to take over. So, when are we actually going to really admit and make a genuine effort to fucking improve this product? Because it's fucking horrible!